I'm gonna tell you guys how to catch 10 times more topwater bass, so make sure you guys stick around. What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going over some tips and tricks for topwater bass fishing. And we are here in beautiful Colorado. You can see the mountains behind me. It's absolutely gorgeous here. When it comes to topwater fishing, you guys need to make sure you're using the proper techniques for the conditions that you're fishing in. We're going to be going over the best and the worst conditions for topwater fishing. When it's very hot and sunny out like it is today, usually topwater isn't the way to go, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. When it is sunny out and very hot, just make sure you're targeting shaded areas and make sure that you also slow down the retrieve a little bit depending on the lure that you are using. The main reason for that is because bass are going to be a little bit more finicky on these hot and sunny days. The best times of day to fish a topwater lure is early in the mornings or later on in the evenings, because that is when the water temperature is going to be a little bit lower. Now let's talk a little bit about location. When you guys are fishing on a weedy pond, usually your options are a little bit limited. So you're going to want to grab a frog or some type of lure like that, like a mouse lure, frog lure, bluegill lure. I'll be showing you guys a little bit of those in a little bit here. But take a look at this little pond. I'm not going to be fishing here because I don't think it's allowed. It is beautiful here in sunny Colorado. So let's go over a few more tips and tricks for topwater fishing. If you guys are fishing on a lake or a river, the sky's the limit when it comes to topwater lures. Oh, there's a couple ducks just hanging out. I don't really want to scare them. The sky's the limit, so you guys can use buzz baits, poppers, whopper ploppers. You can even use a frog if you find the right location for it. But anyways, that's just a handful of the topwater baits available for use, and those are some of my favorites. Now let's talk about my personal favorite topwater lures and the ones that I think are the best all-around lures to use pretty much all the time. We're gonna open up my little box full of lures here. My personal favorite #1 topwater lure to use is one of these guys right here. This is a whopper plopper. The tail spins. You just do a nice steady retrieve across the water and it'll go, you know, something like that. But anyways, the bass love them and they absolutely crush them when they see them. Whenever you're fishing topwater, make sure you grab one of these because you will not regret it. They are so fun to use. Another one of my favorite topwater lures is one of these guys here. This is called a popper. You can see I didn't get all my fishing line off of it. But anyways, when you use this, if you guys see bass that are feeding or chasing minnows on the river or on the lake, wherever you are, make sure you cast this thing over that area because they're gonna think it's an injured fish just swimming across the top right there, and they're gonna think that's an easy meal, so they're gonna go after it. When you guys use a popper, you can use it in multiple different ways. You can either go fast, like boom, 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 or you can just do 1, 2, pause, 1, 2, pause. You know, you can retrieve this thing back in so many different ways. Just play around with it depending on the conditions. If it's hot and sunny out, go a little bit slower. If it's cloudy out or it's about to rain or it's after rain, go a little bit faster. The popper is a great option for targeting bass that are feeding and chasing minnows, so make sure you guys get one for yourself. Another topwater lure that I don't use a lot myself, but I'm gonna start using a lot more, is a buzz bait. It's very similar to a whopper plopper, but it's got one hook in the back and it's got this spinny guy up here. So it does pretty much the same action as a whopper plopper, but I haven't used many of these, so I'm gonna give them a try and see what happens. And last but not least, one of my favorite topwater lures for weedy pond fishing is these guys right here. This right here is a topwater frog, and it is weedless. So this is the Guggen Squad one. That's why it says eat me on it, and I love that because, you know, when the bass see that, they're gonna eat it. Anyways, there's all kinds of different variants that you can get of this. You can get a frog, you can get a popper frog, which has got a little indent in the front and it works just like a popper lure. And then you've also got other lures, just like this guy here. This is a bluegill. I saw it at a shop and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get that because there's a lot of bluegill at the pond that I fish at, and I'm sure the bass love them. So I've gotten this. I haven't used it much, but the action of this goes back and forth. It looks like it's swimming on the top or like an injured bluegill. You can also get all kinds of other weedless topwater lures, like a mouse. You can get big rats, you can get duck lures. There's so many different ones you can buy, and they're all super fun to fish with. All of these lures are must-haves in your guys' tackle box. So make sure you go out and get one of each of these lures because you will have so much fun fishing with them. And as you guys probably know from my previous videos, topwater fishing is one of my favorite forms of fishing, just because it's so cool to see these bass explode on the surface and just crush these lures. When you're using lures that swim underneath the water, you only feel the fish bite. You don't get to see it as much unless you're wearing wearing polarized sunglasses and they're near the surface. Make sure you guys go out and get some topwater lures and make sure you have fun fishing. That's the most important part. But keep an eye out for my next video. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of fishing here in Colorado. Hopefully I catch something, but there's no guarantees, as you guys already know if you are avid fishermen. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.